Is that the one and only partnership cat?
That is Partnership Cat, yes.
One thing about you're aware of this, Mark, but your cat follows my dog on Twitter and vice versa.
Excellent.
The sort of thing that only should happen when you've got too much time on your hands.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So what should firms be doing for their marketing at the moment?
Well, Nigel, you were saying a few minutes ago that your pricing work seems to have slowed down significantly. What's your view on whether firms should be doing pricing work?
Most law firms are going to say, for two reasons, that they won't. One of those will be 15 people or thereabouts in a room isn't going to happen. But even when looking at undertaking pricing via Zoom or some other platform, they're going to be thinking that cash is so tight now that investing in training is an unaffordable luxury. I take the view, as I took when firms shut down for about 6 months in terms of investment, when all the Brexit uncertainty was clouding things, that if there was ever a time to invest in something to make you more competitive, it's when nobody else is doing it. And it absolutely goes for now. If you can be more competitive than other law firms, then it behoves you to try and achieve that. But this isn't really just about me and pricing, is it? It's what should law firms be doing to keep in touch with their clients, their referrers? How should they market? One of my client firms actually gave me a call over the weekend to say that their head of business development was absolutely astounding them in working, from home, a solid 8-hour day every day, all phone calls, emails, Zooms, Teams, and generating work.
Yeah.
There is still work to be done, and it's also about getting the tone right, and it's all about tone in terms of marketing. Dare I say it, I've seen some slightly ill-toned messages put out by family law firms saying, "Oh, great, everyone's locked down, there's going to be a lot of divorce work," and I'm not sure that's quite the message to be going out there. But there is a message to be saying, well, these are the legal issues that lockdown may face you with. This is what we can do to help you, and just staying in contact is interesting. I had a phone call from my bank manager the other day just to see how I was. They go, "Oh, that's nice." It does create that sort of certain warm feeling that your advisors aren't just with you for the good times, and staying in contact with people, not obviously going after bits of work, but just to say, "We're here. How's your business going?"
And that's very much what it's always been about, isn't it, Mark? In that it's keeping in touch with people. And I've always thought you go out and see a client on a totally non-chargeable basis. You go out and talk to them and find out what's going on. And almost invariably, there's something you can help them with, probably fee paying as a result of just going out pro bono to say hello. And I don't think this environment is any different, in that we just do it over Zoom now. We just
or a phone call. How's it going? So firms need to stay in contact, need to be giving out the right messages to their clients, and and to the market as a whole, because this will end, firms will survive, and then they've got to be there, and people have got to be thinking of them.
Do we think, though, there's going to be any difference strategically for marketing in future? I know one of the things I've been I've done a lot of over the years have been seminars and presentations, particularly on the family business side, and those have been face-to-face meetings. And Nigel, as you're suggesting, I'm now being asked to move those online, and it's a different skill set to actually talk online to a group of 50, 100 people online, where in a room you can get them talking to one another quite easily, you can get some banter, but online, in breakout rooms, it's that much more difficult. I don't know if so I think there's a skill set for us all to learn there, isn't there? Because I think it will move more online, that sort of training.
And I find
these sort of numbers, Howard.
Yes.
You can do five to 10 people really quite easily. no great adaptation. But as you say, 50 people online, and the first thing you have to do is mute everybody. You will be talking at them, not interacting with them.
And that's my style, is to interact with them. And I've been asked by MBL, who the main people I do it for, I've said I'd like to restrict it to no more than about a dozen people. And they've said, oh, well, can we have 30 people? Because we found a number of people don't turn up. And I'm actually thinking about whether I want to do it to 30 people with my sort of interactive style of training.
If you don't mute them, you get people's dogs and children in the background as well, don't you?
Yes.
That's bit.
Yes. And our dog's in the background here at the moment. So
Yeah.
I actually had a meeting this week with the dog. It was with the lawyer, and the lady lawyer had her dog on her lap, which she introduced to us all during the course of the meeting. It was delightful.
I did a webinar last week, and we actually had one of the finance directors who was on maternity leave breastfeeding in the background, which added a bit of levity.
Everyone's much more relaxed because we all know we're all working from home, and therefore, the dog and the children and everything else will go on, and nobody seems particularly fussed by it.
I think that is a suggestion, that everyone's going to become more informal, and formal wear, suits at work may have become less and less anyway. May well entirely disappear after all of this.
It's a really good observation, Howard, because I'm still umming and ahhing about what I should wear for my hour's webinar on Friday. Do I wear my usual working from home stuff, or do I put on a business shirt?
So,
just coming back though, strategically, is our marketing approach, our marketing, all of us in the professions, it's been a mixture of intermediaries, direct contact, articles, courses, and just generally being in touch with the marketplace. Is that going to change, do you think, in the future?
No, I just think the way we do it will change.
Fewer physical meetings, and one of the things that'll be good for us, for our law firm clients, and for the planet is quite a bit less travelling from A to B for those meetings.
Yeah, I've noticed that already. It's a big impact.
Perhaps also greater. We're all increasingly good at the technology now, but I still come across quite a few people who are still struggling with it, and I haven't been the best. But perhaps better use of technology, more up to speed with using laptops at home, more up to speed with all the different platforms to use. I'm still struggling with Teams, for example. I can use it for video purposes, but getting to work it properly as Teams, I'm really struggling with. And I think there's probably a whole load of training necessary there as well.
Yeah, I think there is. I did a webinar last week, as I mentioned, and some of you will know Nicola Jones. And she acted as the kind of DJ for me. And she was the one who was doing the polls, the chats, the breakouts, and all of those things. And I think you have to have those things, otherwise you do end up talking at people. And I think there's almost a new standard format, not just a training, but there's going to be a format that develops, that you have a length of time, and this is how best you break it up.
I attended a webinar only today, which was broadcast last November but recorded, and they used a lot of polls during the course of the long webinar. And I must admit, it irritated me. They must have used half a dozen polls, and I've done it myself in the past, but they must have used half a dozen polls which didn't really add to the presentation at all, probably designed to break things up, but it irritated me somewhat. Yeah, I felt like that.
I was going to say, Mark, you may recall having dinner 6 weeks or 2 lifetimes ago, whichever is the same thing at the moment, with my colleague Bob Spence. Bob is very, very much at the front end of all of this, and he's adamant there are a lot of subtleties which we have to learn. One of the things that he said is that he's South African, and he says, the Southern Hemisphere, Australia for distance reasons, and South Africa because of the violence. Online training, online meetings, online client consultations have been the way of the world for some years. And he said, actually, you have to approach those things very differently.
Yeah.
What sort of subtleties are you thinking of, Barry?
Oh, even things like the language that you use, the way you approach people. When you're talking to a room full of people, you can talk to people as a group. One of the things it's saying is when people are alone in a room at home, they don't respond to being part of a group. They only respond to being spoken to as if one-to-one.
Right. We've probably got to the end of that, haven't we?
Well,
I think it's goodbye and it's not weekend, it's have a good week. Nice.
Good week.
Everyone.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers.